Hi, welcome back to another episode of A Grand Old Stream. Today I'll be talking about a much needed 2-0 victory against Ross County. So I'll start talking about how we done defensively, then attacking. So defensively, we let them have a couple of free headers in the box quite early on, which was disappointing. Julian was beaten in the air by Stewart in the 8th minute and then the 17th minute. But luckily, none of them went on target. I think they both went wide actually. And then Stewart went off injured after 34 minutes, so I thought that was quite lucky for us because that looked like it had the potential to be another nightmare for Julian. I think it looked like the sort of root cause of those issues though was that nobody was shutting down the crosses before they were coming in. McGregor was guilty of one of them. He was miles away from the guy by the time he actually put the cross in, and then Stewart got his head onto the end of it. But still, it didn't even look like Julian was being bullied by him like he was by Dykes or Kabamba before. It looked like he just wasn't really marking him or wasn't tight enough to him. So I don't know if that's down to Julian and if it's just down to a defensive system not being where it should be. So we also lost possession quite a lot, just carelessly. We lost possession 30 times compared to County losing it 15 times, which is expected considering we had a lot more possession than they did. But of the 30 times we lost it, a third of those were in our own half, which it just looked like it was carelessness. A few times we lost it, I don't even think there was that much pressure on us. So I think we just need to sharpen up a wee bit. We're definitely on the right track, but it's just a wee bit still to go. And then when we got into the second half, we kept Ross County really quiet. I don't know if Hazard had much to do the full game. I think he made 1 or 2 saves that were pretty easy for him. So I still don't even know how good he is because he's barely even been tested. So attacking, I thought in the first half particularly we didn't really have any width in the left hand side, and I thought that was because Laxalt was staying too deep. When we were playing the 4-4-2 with the diamond, so when you've got the diamond you need your fullbacks to give you that width. And we were definitely getting it from Frimpong on the right, but Laxalt looked a bit hesitant to get too far forward. And I think that was maybe stopping us from stretching the County defence a wee bit. I thought we were quite wasteful in the attack as well, particularly Ryan Christie. I don't know if anybody's still a fan of him, but I've just about had enough of him. I think he should just be dropped until he gets his head screwed on and realises that he's not Gareth Bale. So he had 4 shots that game, 0 on target, including a dreadful effort and just past the half hour mark. It was about 40 yards out or something, and it must have hit the corner flag. It was so bad, and there was so many better options for him as well. It's not like he was running forward and there was nothing else he could have done. He was running forward, it looked like he was off balance and everything, and he thought the best thing I could do here is shoot. Where the fuck do you start with somebody like that? There was another time as well where the ball came through to McGregor. McGregor turned and took a shot, but just before he took the shot it looked like Christie was trying to pinch the ball off his toes. And again, he just runs about wanting to do everything. It reminds me of, like, I'm sure everybody played football with somebody like this when they were younger. It just, it's always give me the ball, I'm going to go skin everybody. Just take shots constantly. They want to score all the time and be the hero every time they play. Somebody has to give Christie's head a wobble and tell him he's not that good. See if he stuck to the things he was actually good at, I think he'd be a really good and really productive player for us. So there was another one, Ayer actually had quite a good few runs from deep in our own half today. That is really good that we've got a centre back that gives us that option. Just ran about 30-40 yards or something with it. A few of them provided a few good chances with us, but they came to nothing. One of them was again came to Christie. He took a touch, shot way over the bar, totally wasted. But it wasn't just Christie today that didn't have his shooting boots on. I don't think anybody was too good in front of goal. Edouard had some shots deflected. Griffiths missed a 1-on-1 with the keeper. So it was actually a really good move. I think McGregor had put a tackle in. Soro straight away played a forward ball to him, which is really good, I think, from a defensive midfielder. When there's a loose ball, always hitting forwards, and that's something I really like about Soro rather than Brown, who loves a wee side pass. So he got it up to McGregor. McGregor carried the ball forward a bit, through to Griffiths, 1-on-1 with the keeper, and really, unlike Griffiths, he put it straight at the keeper and it went out for a corner, which, by the way, Ryan Christie took, and it went straight into the goalkeeper's hands. And then he missed another sitter. This one was maybe even worse. Vigurs, I don't know what the fuck he was trying to do, but McGregor's done a few of these as well. So the ball came to Vigurs and he just kind of played it back towards his own goal. And Griffiths, it was basically straight to Griffiths. Griffiths sort of took his time with it, blasted it straight at the goalkeeper. Again, it's weird from Griffiths because he's a much better finisher than that. If that was him a few years ago, he would have scored the two of them. Even with the second one there, when he sort of volleyed it, or half volleyed it, he could have played it right into Edouard, who would have had a tap in. But he did make up for that later on in the game. But I'll go over the first goal before we get to that. So the first one came from a good, really amazing run from Frimpong, who looked back to the sort of guy we'd seen last season. Just twisting and turning down the right hand side, got himself into the box at the byline, and he put it on a plate for Turnbull, who was in the right place at the right time again, and sweeped it away into the corner. So it was good seeing Frimpong back to what looks like his best. Hopefully he can keep that up now. Maybe needed that wee spell out the team to sort of get his head screwed back on. And good to see Turnbull getting another goal already. So just after Griffiths had missed his second 1-on-1, Ryan Christie popped in a nice sort of floated cross to him at the back post. He got up, got his head on it, and it dipped into the corner away from him. And it was good to see Griffiths scoring. That's 2 in 2 games for him, and it was a really good header. And this is what I was meaning earlier. If Christie just stuck to what he's good at, see if he floated in crosses like that instead of just taking pot shots all the time. I know he obviously scored a peach in the cup final. He scored one in the semi-final. But when you're scoring 2 peaches out of 200 shots, and most of his shots aren't from good positions, both those goals he sort of cut in on his good foot and curled it into the other corner. The kind of shots he's taking are just, they're not even from good positions for a shot. Anyway, we got a good 2-0 win in the end. The game just sort of, I felt like the game just sort of petered out after that. Like Celtic were happy with a 2-0 win, County were happy to get beat 2-0. Made a few subs to get some people game time that probably needed it. Give us a few more options for a busy fixture list coming up. So overall, I thought the performance in general was a wee bit flat again. It maybe lacked a wee bit of creativity, but we were never going to just bounce back from the sort of dismal spell we were in back to the very top and just getting back into any kind of explosive form. So I think it's probably the best we could have asked for just now. Another sort of downside today was that pitch. I don't know what the fuck's going on with it. I've seen a few things on Twitter recently because Christmas is coming up, and it's about that story on Christmas Day where the soldiers on each side downed their tools, put their guns down, and went out into no man's land and played football with each other. They probably played on a better surface in Parkhead today because that pitch is a fucking riot. This is the last down thing, and then I'm going to finish on a high because I've been wanting to do that recently because there's been so much to moan about with how the seasons went so far. So I'm trying to make sure I finish each episode on a high. So the last sort of negative I'd say is that it was another new formation today. So I think we've played 3-5-2, 4-2-3-1 and 4-4-2. So I don't know what are you doing in training? How do you plan? Do you just plan for each game individually as it comes up? Because that's not really a lot of preparation. I feel like the best teams have their system and they just put that out in front of everybody and say, come and beat us. I think tweaking it game to game, just depending on what players you've got, I don't think it's going to get the best out of any of the players, and I don't think it's what any sort of top manager tends to do. They usually come in and say, this is my philosophy, the style, the formation I play, and I'll get the players to play in this, rather than just looking and going, right, who have I got? Fuck it, I'll see what I can work out. So I hope they sort of just pick a formation, try and stick to it, because I think that's the best way to get a bit of momentum going. If we're going out playing the same style, same formation every week, I just think that's the best way to get momentum and get a winning streak together. So on the positive, I'm going to finish on. So that's another clean sheet in the league. It's 2-0 victories in a row in the league, and I think it's the foundations of a good run. I think that whole performance was the foundations of a good run. There's still a few shaky bits defensively in the first half, like I was saying, with the free headers Ross County were getting, not sort of closing the shots out, but we got to the second half, County were basically parked in their own half. And at the other end of the pitch attacking, I'd like to see Greg Taylor back on, to be honest. I think he gives us more width than Celtic does, and I think that would give us even more chances. And if we can get a striker scoring again, get people to be a wee bit more clinical, a game like the day could have finished 4 or 5-0 easily. And the final thing I think is, obviously the Huns got another win the day, so it looks like that cup slip up might not have affected them as much as we all hoped. But the best we can do is string together more and more wins. I think one of the big reasons Rangers have been in such good form is that they've been able to go out to every game with no pressure on them, because they know we've been so bad and so far behind that they can go out and play with no pressure. They're not looking over their shoulder. If we start stringing together more and more wins, that pressure's going to be there. Even if they don't slip up before the game at Ibrox in the second, they'll have a lot of pressure on them to win that than they maybe would if we were in the sort of poor form we were before. So I think that's the best we can do, is deal with what's in our hands now, and that's winning every game. And we can keep that run going with another win against Hamilton on Boxing Day. And I'll be doing a pre-match pod for that probably tomorrow. So thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed, please give me a follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and I'll be back before the Hamilton game. Thanks, and see you later.